Not many things bring me back to childhood like the smell of the ocean, the sound of the ocean, the feel of the ocean, things related to the ocean, and various ocean stuff. It's a town update. Welcome back, ancient fans of LEGO. It's me, Pro LC, and you're watching Pro LEGO Channel, the original premiere one. Or something else if you're watching this after the name gets taken down by a large company that owns copyrights on that thing. This is it's the end of the town. It's the actual limits of Margaritaville. This is going to be the rightmost section. It's a mill in a similar fashion to the river crossing. There's a card up there for it. If you haven't seen it already, I assume every 4 of you here have seen that already, so we can kind of skip through that. But basically, we have water, we got a little bit of land, and funnily enough, the river crossing also had the road in the middle of it, so that kind of poetic in a way almost. There's a reason for that, but that's because the river crossing in this also are the rightmost builds. So I've removed the river crossing from canon, and now we have the docks. Now, I don't think this is the final iteration of the docks, so please keep that in mind, but I think it looks fairly nice. Head on, you get a little bit more of a look at how it's made. There's a tile on the top of the 16x16 base, and then we have a 2x blue section. We do have some of this, I want to say that's royal blue, but I'm not positive, and then the bright blue. And that's all snotted in place using brackets. Now, we could have put more or less tile, honestly. And because this is a big old heaping block of 2x's, it's pretty sturdy. And an eventual goal is to remake this 4-ish times. We'll see how many we need, but basically if I have several of these with varying patterns, you can make a little animation to show the kind of tide going in and out against the little bit of a hint of a beach there. I could have used green as well, and that would have kind of blended in here at the edge of the grass, but I decided to go for just a little strip of sand. That's fairly common at the edge of docks, is like a little bit of ground underneath there it's a lot more swept by the sea and doesn't kind of grow anything. But I think this is a nice look overall. It feels classic as hell. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's the torch and the lance with the flag on it. I think that really that's what does it, for me at least. Got a little bit of interest. We did add a little rock, and by we, I mean me, the royal we. I got the little rock going into the water, and a little rock up here on the land that kind of continues that. And that's mostly to kind of hide the transition from the placards to the side of the water. And I think it does its job effectively. Now, the other side, the left side, does have 2 cross axles, so we can connect it up to a regular piece of terrain. Unfortunately, because of the road placement, or maybe fortunately, it only connects up to the graveyard. The graveyard transitions from the all the way front road to the centered road, and I think it does a nice job. Lorically, does it make sense in the grand scheme of real-world physics for a graveyard to be right by the water? No, probably not, actually, but whatever. So this is where we are. Real quick before we continue on with the city, the front side is just studs. It's even with the edge of the plate, I believe, as well as it can be, and it's got open studs, so what I'll have to do is do some shenanigans to attach blue studs sideways, or blue bricks sideways with a stud turn so that it can grab onto the thing at some point, the plate, and I can just make water plates, 16x16 2x waters with 2 plates of thickness, a plate and a tile of thickness underneath to hold the shape up, and those can just kind of build studs not on top out in infinity in that direction if I need more water room. Now, if you're a loyal Ancient fan and you've been paying attention, you'll know is that the recording pen of Destiny can only fit 3 16x16 modules at a time. So we do have the cafe as the first building you'll run into, and that's got the road in the front, and then it transitions, like I said, to the middle. So let's talk about future updates for the docks. Ideally, I would like to be able to add, I think, no less than 1 market stall down there. As it's not I don't want it to be a super temporary looking structure, but I don't want it to be a terribly permanent as well. Right around here, I think it would be nice to put a little stall with some fish, perhaps. The day's catch. I know that the little barrel here can be used to stash some extra fish if we've got the need, but I think it adds a nice little touch there as well. The final side here on the front is, I was thinking about stacking some kind of wood or maybe netting or something relevant to the needs of fishermen, and that would be a nice little point of interest. We could perhaps extend these flowers out. And that would be it for the Margaritaville docks. It's fairly small. It's a fairly small little fishing village. Now, I do know what you're saying. Who fishes? We don't have a fisherman in the village yet. Yes, we'll need to make a fisherman's house at some point. Or we can repurpose one of the current townsmen, like Jord would be possibly a reasonable fisherman. He does have the overalls on, so I don't know how that'll exactly work, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. We'll give him a new outfit or just keep the same one. The last thing going forward is boats. Now, because of the rock, I have limited this 1 boat slip inadvertently, but it's not a huge limit. It's 4. So I can make a small boat that can fit on this side, and then this side has 6, which is fairly hefty for a classic-sized boat. Now, I could also have a boat dock short ways along the dock, which is an option, and I could have up to a 16 length ship, which the 4 and the 4 plus and the juniors boats are around 16ish long, and they're small but big, and they also float, and they're it'd be high up on the water would be the only thing, but we can come to that later. So, real quick rundown. We want to someday look at making more pieces of water for different animations. A stall, perhaps some kind of scenery in the front to just add to it, and a couple of boats. And I think that's just about it. If you've got anything else that you think I need to add to the docks, let me know. But I think that's a pretty good look overall. I really enjoy the look of a minifigure just sitting on the docks, kind of staring out at the water. And I think it's nice. Anyways, I think we'll end the video there. Automatic video over here. Subscribe on Milestone if you're interested in that. If you're not already subscribed, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but come back for more updates. And then over here in the rest of the area is a video that I will handpick. Oh geez, what's it going to be though? Probably the last city town update, Margaritaville update. Yeah, why not? Sure. God rest ye merry gentlemen.